Well, hello there, what's up with you guys? I'm here, and I've not rehearsed this at all. I'm with the Dimensional Doors mod right here, so these are all the crafting recipes that you can do, some on the other side, and I'm going to take you through them with our trusty floating crafting bench of magic awesomeness. So, Dimensional Doors is by Stephen RS11, if I'm not mistaken, and it's basically influence doors that allow you to go to dungeons, into pocket dimensions and things like that. So let me show you how it works. So here we have our first crafting recipe for the dimensional door, which is an iron door, an ender pearl, and an iron ore. So you need two doors just to make one, but it makes sense as I will show you in a second. So if I get two iron doors, I need two actually. Go up to our floating crafting bench and do craft them like so. Maybe like so. There we go. Sorry, it's not vertical, it's horizontal. So you get iron door, ender pearl, iron door, and you'll get a dimensional door. And as you'll see, the description says place on the block under a rift to activate that rift. We'll come to rifts in a second. Or place anywhere else to create a pocket dimension. So creating a pocket dimension is what we're going to do now. So I'll just go over here and plonk it down. Now you see this looks like a normal iron door, but with a really cool texture behind it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this up. It looks a bit weird, but if I just grab some logs and make it look a bit better. There we go. It looks a lot more natural now. So if I go through here, I will see I'm in a black room, and with my mini-map, bit glitchy there, with my mini-map I can see that I'm in a box. Now these blocks around me that I'm standing on, that's why I'm not falling, there's some blocks here, and also walls and a ceiling. There is, that's a special block in Dimensional Doors called Fabric of Reality, I think. Yeah, there we go, Fabric of Reality. And you can't craft this, you can only find it in pocket dimensions, and you can't mine it either. But what you can do is right click it with a block, and it will replace it with that block. So now you see there's a little hole here. So I have no idea how I'm going to get this back unless I replace, for example, this with another block, and then I just plonk it next to each other. So you can get a bit messed up, but these pocket dimensions, I think they are a 2x2 chunk, something like that. And to be honest, I use them to make farms, really massive farms, and they are separately created to the world, I think. So there's no lag, but you have to be in here for any block updates to happen, for example furnaces to smelt stuff, so you can't just leave something in to smelt and come out again. So you have to actually be in there with it. Now that's my dimensional door. Now here's the next recipe, the warp door. Now if I just get a wooden door, well, two of them, and another ender pearl. This uses a lot of ender pearls, by the way, so make sure you got your sword handy when you got this mod. And just like the dimensional door, wooden door, ender pearl, wooden door, and you get a warp door. So the description says place on the block under a rift in any dimension, or place anywhere in a pocket dimension to approach the surface. Now what I didn't mention before is that when you're in a pocket dimension, you'd need another warp door for this, by the way. You can create another pocket dimension within that pocket dimension. Now that does sound a bit strange. So just for example, I'm just going to spam this with logs, just to show you something. So this one's spam with logs. Now pocket dimensions work in layers. So I'm in the first layer because this one leads to the surface, as I know, because I just placed this. So this is the surface. Now I go down one, so I'm in the first layer with my stone. Now if I go down to layer 2, I'll go with where I spammed that wood a few seconds ago. Now again, I could go down to another level 2, but a different one, where I can spam it with stone. So you can create, I think it's an infinite number of pocket dimensions, and it's really quite handy because you can use the rooms for like anything. If you're using Tekkit, you can have like an EMC generator room, and you could have loads of these doors everywhere and just have a secret one that only you know where it is, so you can hide stuff really easily. And so what a warp door does is, if you're in here and the door gets destroyed, you can plonk a warp door down and it will take you up one. but this is me gone into a different layer because I was in the spammed stone dimension, so that's me in a different layer 1. It's very difficult to understand, but I'll try and explain it. So with the diagram you can see that the surface leads to layer 1 with a link, and the layer 1 leads to stone spam and log spam separately. So they can't link unless it's through layer 1. Now I went to stone spam and I went up through a different warp door, so that went to the different layer 1, and what that did was basically we had another layer 1. So there's 2 different layer 1s now, so I could either go back to the surface through another warp door I would place in layer 1, or go back through stone spam and back to the original layer 1 that I'm about to show you in the next clip, and back up to the surface. Hope that helped. But if you do, I congratulate you very much, sir, madam. So if I put one here in my layer 1, the original one, I go to the surface because I was in layer 1. And that's, yeah, space is very similar. Now, what if I wanted that to face, for example, this way? I will show you how to do that in a second. But first, let's look at the rift signature, which looks has a cool little texture here. So we'll need 4 iron ingots and an ender pearl. So I'll get my ender pearl here, and an iron ingot. Oops, 4 iron ingots. Up to our trusty floating crafting bench, and craft us a rift signature. Maybe it's this way. There we go. Right, it's a plus. I keep getting these crafting recipes wrong. Anyway, the rift signature, if you right click with it on a block, it stores the location, and the second right click somewhere else creates 2 rifts. And the rifts look really cool, as I'm about to show you, and they link to each other. So I can just plonk one here, rift signature stored, and I will plonk one over here. So rifts are basically just particles, and you can see one over here, I think. There we go. So if I use a dimensional door, like it said, place a block under a rift. So this, I'm standing in the rift here, doesn't do anything unless you put a dimensional door on it, which activates that rift, and the particles disappear. So if I go over to my other rift, which could be in my house maybe, or near a friend's base, so you can travel there quickly. Now these will not lead to pocket dimensions because I've placed them on rifts, they will lead to each other. See? And they make the same noises as Endermen because they're made of ender pearls. So this is a very good mod if you're into like quantum stuff like me. If you're not, it's still a good mod, but it might be a bit more difficult to understand. So let's go around to the other side. Say you've got a load of rifts everywhere and you don't want them. Like that. So we'd make a rift remover, which is the same as a rift signature, but it uses gold instead. And of course the ender pearl, the classic ender pearl. So again, craft it like I did before, and get a rift remover. So use near exposed rift to remove it in any nearby rifts. So I will what happened there? Did a rift explode? I have no idea what happened, but I don't know what the radius of this is, but you see, oh, there we go. The white is basically the rifts cancelling each other out. The white is cancelling out the black. So I'm just holding right click here, oops, and looking at the rifts. So see, they've all gone. Apart from this one, don't know how I got that. So I'll just hold right click, and it'll disappear. So that's quite handy if you're a server admin and your server's been spammed with rifts. Yeah. So a rift blade can help you turn around doors, like I said before, with that wooden door, with the warp door. So to make a rift blade, you need 2 ender pearls this time and the rift remover. So I just get another ender pearl or 2 out to our floating crafting bench, and make a rift blade. So it opens temporary doors, special teleport attack, and rotates existing doors. This is a very good sword to have because it's powerful. I'll test it on these cows over here. So you might want to have a look on the wiki to see what health value cows have and where you can work it out. So, alright, come back here. So it kills a cow in 2 hits. So that's good. This looks like it's enchanted, but it's not. That's just the texture. And I gotta say the sword actually looks pretty cool anyway. But let's see. We want to rotate this door towards me. So right click on the door, and it faces towards you. And if you want to face it away, right click again, and you can keep switching. If you want it to face another way, just look at it that way, and it'll switch when you right click it. And a good thing to do for it's just basically a good thing to do for like cosmetics and stuff, instead of having a doorway, I don't know, made out of stone this time, because I like variance. Say you had a door like that and you wanted to go through it and you couldn't because it's being derpy, then you could just use a rift blade and open it like that. So back to my crafting list. So I think we've done the rift blades. All that's left is a transdimensional trapdoor. Now I'll need another item that you can't craft to be able to explain this. So I'll make it first, and then I'll show you. Trapdoor and pearl. Here we go. Oops. Maybe it is above this time. There we go. With the trapdoor, it's vertical. So you get a transdimensional trapdoor, and this is very important. This doesn't lead to pocket dimensions. This doesn't lead anywhere from the surface. In fact, a bit like the warp door. What I'm going to get is an unstable fabric or an unstable door. Unstable doors lead to anywhere in the world, and it's not craftable. Unstable fabrics are an admin item, so it creates a random dungeon rift. Dungeon rifts can be found around the world, naturally spawning. They look really cool, and I'll put up a screenshot of one right now. Bing. Right. Okay. So this creates a random dungeon rift, and you can't craft it. So I'm just gonna plonk a rift here. Use a dimensional door to open it. Actually, no. Yeah, if you destroy a dimensional door, it'll leave a rift behind to where it used to go, so people with a rift blade can come on and go into your exposed rifts. So you might want a rift remover to do that. Anyway, I'm going to use a rift blade to open a temporary door. So you see, you can't open or close it, and you can only use it once unless you use the rift blade again. And the rift blade never runs out, so that's good. So I go through, and where am I? I'm falling. That didn't work. And if you die in a pocket dimension, this is what happens. You go, since I spawned on flatland actually, I set it to super flat, so I don't think it'll, holy shit. Oh, crap. It did spawn limbo. What a surprise. When you die in a pocket dimension, it sends you to limbo. Either that, or if you go too deep into the layers. That is basically the causes of going to limbo. This is limbo, big black place with the sun, but there's no light at all. Normally you have to navigate by the minimap, but I've got like my brightness on full. The only way to get out of limbo is either to quit the game and get some get some server admin to reset your position in your world, or I don't think you take fall damage here. You can find these, which are dimensional pools right at the bottom of limbo. Normally spawn quite high up, but I fell for quite a bit, so I was lucky. Jump into these pools and you get sent somewhere random on the surface. You see, I've just gotten to like 39,000 on my minimap, so I've no idea where the other things are, but yeah, I should have really stored my location. But yeah, that's how you do it. I didn't actually get to explain the Transdimensional Trapdoor, so I'll just go into a pocket dimension now. Grab a block just to put the door on. Go down deeper. Go down deeper still. Go down deeper even more. So I'm in like layer 3 or 4 now, 4 or 5, I don't know. So what you do for the Transdimensional Trapdoor is you plonk it on the floor when you're really deep and open it up and jump through, and it will take you to the surface of which you entered from, which is very handy. But if you go down too far, like I said, Transdimensional Trapdoors send you to limbo, and so do other doors. So, oh, that's a rift. Can open it back up and go inside again, just like I said. Oh yeah, rifts that go up are white, rifts that go down, like in layers, are black. So black rifts go down, white rifts go up. Well, like it's got a shadow here. Anyway, that's the dimensional doors. This would be part 1 of the Cydia Create mod explanations. So yeah, I'll see you next time in part 2, where I will be reviewing the next mod on the list, the portal gun mod. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. See ya.